I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to set up your MLA formatted works cited page and project. And so here there are a few things. It just tells us our objective. You're going to use your research articles on death penalty given to you by your teacher in order to create a works cited page. So just your general information, the works cited page is going to be found on the last page of your writing assignment. It's going to follow the general MLA formatting of the font and double spaced and how everything's aligned. So we'll go ahead and I'll show you how to set that up. So it tells you you're going to create a new document in Google Docs in your English folder. Title the document Death Penalty Debate Paper. Your teacher may tell you to change it later. So here we're going to go ahead and open a new tab. I go up to my little waffle and I'm going to go to Docs. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and do a blank document. It's working. All right. And we're going to name this Death Penalty Research Paper. And in order to have this in proper MLA formatting, you're going to change the font to Times New Roman. You may need to scroll down a bit in order to find it. Just depends if it's already been used. And the font size to 12. You're going to look at your page setup to make sure that all of the margins, and I think it does it by default, is set to 1 inch all around. So all of these should say 1. Portrait is correct. Letter size 8.5 by 11. And everything is good. So we click OK. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to have everything set up where it's going to have your first and last name and your teacher and the subject, so on and so forth. So to make sure you have everything formatted, you're going to make sure that your line spacing, which is going to be these little 3 lines with the arrows going both ways, is set to double. All right, and you want to make sure you go back to your works cited page assignment tab, and if all I did was scroll down, but if you scroll down, it has the sample that is from the MLA formatting for readers and writers. So you have your first and last name, your teacher's name, the class you're in, and then you're following the MLA date format. So you're going to come up here. So you can put your first and last name, make sure everything is capitalized, and then just enter once. It double spaces it for you automatically. Mrs., and I'll just put Mrs. Branscombe as my teacher. Then you're going to come down and put in the class that you're in, English 7, and enter one more time. And here's the formatting for the date. So you're going to put the day, space, month, space, year. All right, and so then when you press enter and you begin to do the title of your paper, I'll just here, and you might have something very specific, but I'll just put in something generic. Death penalty research. All right. Now there's something else you need to set up before we begin going on to the works cited page, and that is adding a header where it's going to have your last name and the page number. So the easiest way to do this is to go in and click insert, because we're going to insert something into this upper space. Insert header, and a little box pops up. Now your header is going to be right aligned. So if I go back to my works cited page, you can kind of see here is the piece on the header. And what's neat is that it'll always have your last name, and we're going to have a way that when every page goes on, the number of the page will just go up automatically. So you're going to go ahead and right align, and you're going to type in your last name capitalized. Okay, and you press space. Now you're not just going to type in one, you're going to insert page number. And you're going to choose the very first one. And there it is. Okay. So from here, now you would pretend to begin to write your paper. Of course, this would be on over here, and you would have it double spaced and indented and so on and so forth. Pretend you've written your paper. The very last page is going to be your works cited. So now we're going to go ahead and do a page break. So I have had a lot of students where they press enter, 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 enter until they get to the following, their final, to another page. But there's actually something really easy. You can just do insert and page break. And what it does is the very next page, it brings you to the very beginning. So you'll see that your header is already set. And we're going to go ahead and do our works cited. So the formatting for a Works Cited page is you're going to center where you're going to type in Works space Cited, C-I-T-E-D. Enter, and you're going to go back to left align. Now from here, this is when you're going to go over to where you had your easy bib. Oops, hold on. Where is it? Here it is. Your easy bib. And here is the citation that I have the little video for. And you're going to copy. Just double check it. Okay, copy. And you're going to Control V and paste it. Now you'll notice it's done all the formatting of, last name, comma, first name, period, quotations around the title of the article, italicize the name of the source. And what you're going to do is that this still isn't perfect formatting. It's kind of funny and kind of frustrating to play with, but we're going to make it work. So for this resource, you're going to go ahead and select it, just the text that you want to move around. And the thing is that the very first line is going to be aligned with this. It's really, you can even say, it doesn't say 0, but this is 0. This, and then over here we have 1 inch over from the final left alignment. We want it to be indented on the second and third line. And it's kind of hard to do. So the way I do it, I've tried it different ways, and when I go in to do the left indent, it still brings in the whole thing. So if you press the tab button, or you can just move the whole thing over to this little notch that's right in between the 0 and the 1. If you bring that in, okay, it brings the whole thing over. But if you come back up to this little rectangle above the triangle and bring that back, now it's perfectly left aligned. So that is your first entry. All right, you press enter and it will bring you ready to put in your next Works Cited entry. All right, one thing you want to remember is that when you're all done with all your Works Cited, you may have 4 or 5 in there. Whatever is the very first word, for example, right here it's Rizzo, everything is going to be in alphabetical order. So this author, their last name is R, it might come after another entry where it has, whether it's the name of the website or the actual author that has, starts with the letter B, so on and so forth. So, but this is the start to it, and this is what you guys will be working on today. All right, good luck.